While wiping the mirror, the mother suddenly noticed that the woman in the portrait in the mirror seemed to move eerily, but when she turned around to look, the portrait seemed completely normal. At first, she thought what she saw was just an illusion, but little did she know, the next event would haunt her for the rest of her life, because her eldest daughter, Annie, had a similar strange portrait in her room. At night, while Annie was sleeping in her room, she suddenly heard the sound of crack, crack. When she woke up the next day, she discovered that her once beautiful long hair had been chopped up messily, and immediately assumed it was her mischievous younger sister who did it.
Girls! Stop it! Stop it!
It's my hair! I didn't do it!
She's lying!
It seemed like the younger sister wasn't lying, but that night, after washing her hair and getting ready for bed, Annie suddenly heard the sound of scissors again. Because her hair had mysteriously been cut off the night before, the more she looked at the portrait in her room, the more it annoyed her, so she simply covered it with a white cloth. But to her surprise, in the dead of night, a hand slowly reached out from behind the white cloth and began cutting her hair again. As Annie opened her eyes, the hand quickly retreated back behind the cloth. Confused and unsettled, she watched as the white cloth in the portrait suddenly began to move. Hearing her scream, her parents rushed in, asking Annie what had happened, but by then, Annie was completely terrified.
It was right behind me. I can smell his breath.
Maybe it was just a nightmare.
No, it was right there. Look at it.
Seeing that his daughter didn't seem to be lying, the father decided to remove the strange portrait. But to his surprise, the portrait seemed to be attached to the wall, and they couldn't remove it no matter how hard they tried. Finally, the father and son worked together, and finally managed to take it down. Little did they know, what happened next would be even more terrifying. That night, the mother was awakened by footsteps, went outside to check, and saw a young boy crawling into the portrait on the wall. Just as she thought it was all just her imagination, a horrifying event occurred.
Mommy, come